I watched the Thunderbolts movie a few weeks ago, and immediately on the way home, I started brainstorming ideas for if any of the characters came into Marvel Rivals. Good day everyone, it's Leo Chase the Mythmaster here with my custom character Marvel Rivals concepts for the Sentry and Ghost. If you like this video, I'd highly recommend checking out my other custom Marvel Rival character videos, as I have over 20 at this point. And also maybe just subscribing to my channel, as I post a lot of superhero content here. Either way, enjoy the video. Our first hero is Sentry, who would be a Vanguard with 850 HP and a difficulty of 5 stars. This is because he is a flying Vanguard, which I imagine would be pretty hard to play, and his left click would just be a melee, but it'd be high damage and have a kind of 3-tap combo, which would just be him punching the air in front of him. His right click would allow him to channel a telekinetic shield that would deflect any incoming attacks, be it hit, scan, or projectile, back at whoever sent them, and would block all damage from melee attacks. His left shift would have 2 charges, and he'd kind of send out a burst wave in front of him, which would do damage and knockback to anyone in its path, and would also be able to destroy terrain. It would also give him some helpful range. To give him some extra movement, he'd have a free charge dash with a fairly quick cooldown, which would allow him to dash short distances, which could help him get into fights or get out of them. And for even more survivability and actually properly helping his team, he'd be able to give himself and nearby allies shield health, which would start decaying after a few seconds. A lot of you probably saw this coming, but his ultimate is all-encompassing void, and it makes him enter his void state, damaging enemies when he does it, and while he's in his void state, I'm not sure how long it'd last, his attacks would be supercharged, with his primary fire being replaced by Shadow Burst, which would be a hit scan high damage AoE attack, and his left shift would get a much shorter cooldown and a much higher damage, so he could constantly be sending out shockwaves. His dash and telekinetic deflection would stay the same, but when he used his force field ability, it would also drain the health of nearby enemies. Both Sentry and Ghost would have a team up where Bucky is the anchor, and as the anchor, Bucky would get 5% damage reduction. We'll get onto what Ghost gets later, but Sentry would basically be able to turn his primary fire into laser beam eyes for a few seconds. These would do very high damage and might be a bit overpowered, but he's the Sentry. Overall, Sentry would be very powerful with a good mix of survivability, damage, and movement, especially in terms of survivability, if he has some supports pocketing him. His suggested combo would be to dash in, send out a flurry of blows, send out some shockwaves, pop his force field and use his telekinetic deflection, before then popping his ultimate and wiping out the entire enemy team. Before getting onto Ghost, I have some skins and a game mode, which I think would work well with these characters. So the skins would be a Yelena one for Black Widow, and a Red Guardian and or US Agent one for Captain America. The new map would be in Avengers Tower, and it would be a conquest map, mostly centered on the lower floors, but there might be an elevator or something, which leads to the top room, and spoilers for Thunderbolts, but if you're here, I'm guessing you've probably already seen Thunderbolts. So the bottom would kind of be the lobby where the Thunderbolts fight the guards, and the top area would be where it could either be the version where Loki fights Iron Man stuff, or it could be where the Sentry fights the new Avengers. While if we are to get a phasing character in Marvel Rivals, it is more likely to be Vision or Kitty Pryde, I wanted to come up with a Ghost one because, well, I just watched the Thunderbolts, and she's quite an underrated character in my opinion. So, Ghost would be a duelist with the standard 250 HP. Her primary fire would be a pistol with around 15 ammo and a fairly low fire rate, as while most of her abilities are kind of dashes in close range, this would give her some long-range options. Her left shift would be on an ability meter, and she'd be allowed to hold it in order to enter an intangible state, where she cannot do damage apart from with one of her abilities, but also she cannot take damage, and she can walk through destructible terrain. She can also do damage with her ultimate while intangible, but the only ability that she can do damage with while intangible other than her ultimate is Assassin's Dash, which is a 10-second cooldown dash, which turns her intangible and applies a damage over time effect to any enemies that she dashes through. Her final, non-ultimate, non-team-up ability works well with her movement from Assassin's Dash, as it's a melee attack, where she strikes out with a quantum punch that phases through the first enemy it hits, interrupting their abilities, and stunning them for an extremely short duration. Her ultimate is pretty basic. It's a large AoE explosion, which leaves a large zone that periodically stuns and damages enemies, like a very big old wonder ability. Now, I can't remember what it's called, but it's one which she throws out and it creates a field that stuns and damages enemies. Plus, using this will instantly refill your phase meter. Her team up with Bucky basically just gives her a sword slash, which gives her a bit of area damage, and also resets the cooldown of Assassin's Dash, which makes her a lot more agile. Ghost would play pretty similarly to Magic, with her wanting to sneak behind the enemy team, and use her dashes to both get into combat, do damage, and then also get out. But unlike Magic, she'd have a more consistent ranged option, and not all of her movement abilities would actually do damage. Her suggested combo would probably be using her phase meter to sneak round behind the enemy team, use Assassin's Dash to go through them, fire off a few shots with your pistol, use a quantum punch, and then unleash your ultimate before maybe Assassin's Dashing away. If you're still here, you've probably enjoyed the video, and thank you for watching till the end. And since you've probably enjoyed it, I'd recommend checking out my other videos in this series, and also maybe just consider dropping a like and subscribe, as well as commenting any suggestions of characters you'd like me to make, and also just what you thought of the Thunderbolts movie. Personally, I really liked it, and I've done a 3-part short review on my channel thinking about it. But yeah, have a good day, and ta-ta.